I swear, the Cowboys' luck this year is just horrible. It's been terrible every single week. Every time this team comes out of a game, they've got new injuries, more players moving to injured reserve. It's like a never-ending bad dream out here, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because ever since the Giants game, it's been a makeshift defense. And as the season goes on, when players should be returning from IR, guys getting healthy, the Cowboys getting a few pieces back, that's not happening at all. The news, the injury updates just somehow get worse every single week. So let's talk about some recently developing news and how the Cowboys defense fares against the Atlanta Falcons this week. Let's get into it. I don't really need to go over the entire laundry list of injuries for this team. I don't have to, but I will, because it just gets crazier and crazier every single time you stack these names. This is just the guys who will not play against Atlanta and also have missed multiple games this year. Sam Williams, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Marshawn Nealon, Deron Bland, Chuma Edoga, Brandon Cooks. And then that's not even mentioning, before this week, Kalen Carson missed a ton of games. Eric Kendricks has missed a few games as well and could miss more. He's questionable for the Falcons game. It's just never ending for this team this year. The defensive end room doesn't even need to be explained at this point. They're completely annihilated with injuries. But as bad as the defensive line room is, and as much as we've talked about it, the cornerback room is an underrated, injury-plagued position too. Deron Bland has yet to play in a game this season with a fractured foot, and the Cowboys did open Bland's 21-day window for him to return to the field, and we thought he was going to return for the Lions game. But, he's not even expected to play against the Falcons on Sunday. He is close to returning, but still not out there on the field. So when the Bland news came out, Kalen Carson was taking Bland's spot early in the season. But Carson got injured and missed weeks 3 through 8 with a shoulder injury. So with all of those injuries, the Cowboys were forced to bring in practice squad guys at corner, and that's where Amani Oruwariye came into the picture. He was brought in place of Kalen Carson and Andrew Booth not playing well. And to be honest, Amani did play pretty well in the opportunities that he got. But somehow, he just got put on injured reserve a few days ago because of a back injury that he suffered in the 49ers game. We're getting into the backups getting put on injured reserve. What kind of curse have we been put under? So Amani goes on to injured reserve. Well, at least Kalen Carson will be back. That's what they're saying. He's expected to play against the Falcons. But what's that saying? An eye for an eye? Well, that must be true because Trayvon Diggs is hurt and reportedly has a calf strain, grade 1 tear, something like that. So he could miss this week's game against Atlanta now that Carson's back. And I say he could miss the game, but based on the injury report, he was a DNP all week at practice, so I don't expect him to play in this game. If he had any chance of going, he should have probably been limited in Friday's practice. Before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BETUS. They have much more than just football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, even surfing. You name it, BETUS has it. But we all really like football around here, and they have NFL futures like the Super Bowl winner, conference winners, division winners, playoff specials, all of those fun future odds, they have you covered. The possibilities really are endless with BETUS. If you sign up today, you'll get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2. So go check out BETUS where the game begins. At this point, it's not crazy to ask the question, who has it worse than us? Going into week 9 against the Falcons, if Diggs doesn't play in this game, Dallas is going to be down their defensive end 1, 2, 3, 4, their cornerback 1 and 2, and their cornerback 5 or 4, whatever you would consider Amani to be. Oh, and their linebacker 1 and Eric Kendricks if he can't go as well. Like I mentioned, he was questionable. What do you even do at that point? I have my gripes with Mike Zimmer, but also I kind of feel bad for the guy at this point. We're reaching backups territory here. So with all the injuries, this team just being absolutely plagued, of course they're going to face an offense with a lot of firepower. You might laugh and say, oh, well, their quarterback is Kirk Cousins, and you can hate on Kirk Cousins all you want. I have in the past. But if you don't pressure him, he'll pick you apart in the pocket, especially when he has offensive weapons all around him. I mean, the Falcons' offense features Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. It's going to be tough sledding to try and stop that unit with what Dallas has on the field. I guess on the bright side, Kalen Carson should be back in action against the Falcons, but then again, you're still relying on a fifth-round rookie that has played in 2 career games to go out there and give you something substantial. But it's gotten to the level of insanity with the injuries that we are happy that you're getting your 5th-round rookie back in the fold. Sure, you're missing Bland, Diggs, Parsons, Lawrence, all of those people, but at least Kalen Carson's gonna play. So I guess the big question is, why did I make this video other than to break the news that everyone's hurt? I just think this game could be another really ugly contest. And you might ask, how does it get any worse than what we've seen so far? And the answer is injuries. Somehow the injuries just keep getting worse. They're just piling up at this point. And going into this game and seeing the injury report and all the guys on injured reserve, I don't have a ton of hope that the Cowboys can beat the Falcons on Sunday. I really don't. Unless Dak and the offense can score 35, maybe need even more points, I don't see a world where this game is all that close, to be honest. Now, the Falcons aren't Super Bowl contenders by any means, but they do have enough offensive firepower to completely stress this defense. And it sucks to say that I don't have a lot of hope, because this feels like a must-win for the Cowboys.